Hello you lovely people. Right, thought I'd jump on here. I've had a few clients lately that have decided to use certain equipment and then get ridiculed by the public or by people that are in training with other trainers because they're so anti-slip lead, right? A trainer that will only use one tool has limited knowledge, right? And they become ineffective, especially if they turn away clients that have certain equipment on them. So there are trainers and whatnot around here that a dog's turned up in a prong, for example, and they've turned them away. How does that fucking help the problem? Where's that dog gonna go other than a kennel or get put to sleep, right? It's stupid. You're supposed to be here to help. If a dog comes to me on any equipment, we'll see what you've got, what baseline you've got, and then we'll work off of there. My goal is always to get a dog on a collar and lead, and then off lead, you know what I mean? The harness, in my opinion, right, as a walking tool, should be earned, right? You put a harness on a dog, you have zero control over the dog, right? That's a fact, yeah, because the tension, everything that goes down the lead gets distributed evenly across that. You can watch this on a tutorial video with harnesses. They tell you this, the pressure gets distributed evenly, which means your communication then becomes ineffective. How can you communicate to a dog when pressure's going all around the body? This don't work like that, yeah, it just don't. So the harness, if you want to use it, you have to start on lower tools and then work up to a harness, because harness is effectively ultimate freedom. That's where the dog doesn't pull. So a dog can be off lead, they can have a harness. Because back in the day, yeah, we only had harnesses for show. We used to have like leather ones with little like brass little bits on it and that, especially for the bull breed, yeah, and we only had them for shows. That was it. We didn't really walk a dog on it. It was on a collar and lead, you know what I mean? But like I say, a harness is good. I do use them. My dogs do weight pulling every now and then. So when we tie them to a tyre and have them fucking pull it, I'm not going to have them on a slip. I'm not going to have them on a collar and lead. I'm not going to have them on a halty, figure of 8, on a harness. Because it distributes pressure evenly and makes it so comfortable for them to pull. Right? A harness doesn't make a dog pull in the same way a dog doesn't want to dominate you. But if you don't use equipment or you're a shitty leader, yes, your dog will dominate you and yes, your dog will pull. These are facts, yeah? If you're heavy in the dog world, the equipment goes into categories and the harness is in the pulling equipment. That's why when they put a harness on a dog, they will always lure at treats, because they can't use pressure and release. That don't work, and some trainers might not want to use that. So everything's done with food, which works to a certain point and it doesn't, right? Especially when the trigger or whatever is higher value, you know? Look, harnesses are good. There's certain dogs I've never put a slip lead on, right? I've never, because they wouldn't hack the pressure. So we don't do it. However, it's the clearest way to communicate to a dog. That's a fact, right? But if people tell you a harness is the one and only tool, they put you in a little box, like I've said before, and that's ineffective at the end of the day. Especially when you get lied to on the boxes of these harnesses. No pull. Fucking shit. I don't get how comfort trumps training, because you as a human, when you learn something, it's very uncomfortable because it's new to you. You don't want to fuck up, right? Training can be stressful for you as a human and your dog, you know what I mean? Because again, you're learning something new. There's expectations that you don't know or haven't met yet. So it's not a bad thing. Stress is not a bad thing. Discomfort is not a bad thing. It is learning. It's how you get coping mechanisms, right? It's how they self-regulate. And it's the same with us humans. It's how we deal with it with the people around us that help us. So yeah, you've got to take that into consideration at the end of the day. Yeah, happy days.